The most powerful Super EZAs yet, but should you buy them with your hard-earned red coins? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are talking about the upcoming Super EZAs for the STR Gogeta and Janemba and the recent Super EZAs for AGL Vegito and Buuhan. These guys are some of the most powerful Super EZAs we have had to date. They are incredibly good and incredibly useful to many of the teams that they're on. But the big question is, are they worth your hard-earned red coins? Well, in order to answer that question, we have to look at a few different things. Number one, we'll take a look at the units themselves, kind of talk about a little bit of what they're doing. And then we will also talk about what, where they're going to be available in the future, because all of those things are going to factor into whether or not you should get them. Now, let's start by saying right this very now that if you have not used your redstones yet, wait until the end of the anniversary. If by the end of the anniversary you have yet to get these guys, then use your redstone to get them. They are definitely worth it that way, and it is completely free at no cost to you. You don't have to summon on the banner. You don't have to buy the tickets. You don't have to use your red coin. So if by the end of the anniversary you have not come across these guys by any means, whatever means that ends up being, then definitely do that. Now, I do not recommend you summoning on their banner to get them, just because if you're going to spend some on the banner, spend it on the 9th anniversary banners. But also keep in mind this right here. So we do know from the initial anniversary data download, Global accidentally spoiled, that we are getting Memorial Dragonstones. Now, in the past, these have been used to trade in for tickets that can be used to summon on banners with older Dokkan Fest units, basically from the start all the way to about a year prior to their release. So we don't know exactly how they're going to be used, but there's a chance they could be used to summon on a banner that may or may not have these guys. So you may also want to wait till those come through as well. So I want to get those two things out of the way before we start talking about who is worth it. So now let's go ahead and let's start with the two who came already, right? We have Vegito and we have Buuhan. Buuhan is probably the most powerful villain Super EZA we've had yet. In fact, he's probably more powerful than some villain releases Dokkan Fest TURs just this past year, right? He's incredibly powerful. Like, we're talking about a character who with, 9 to 11 keyspheres is throwing out 50 million attack stats with some crazy amount of defense too. Works really well on the Buuhan team, works really well on the uncontrollable power team. Like, you throw him on a team and he's going to do his job, and he's going to do it well. On top of being a nuking style, he's also recovering your HP by a lot, like a lot, right? So if you imagine, right, a turn where you're actually getting those 10 to 11 keyspheres, that's nearly a full HP recovery with that. So I mean, that's crazy just to think about. So also consider he works well with the Int Buu team, because when Int Buu uses his active, if he picks up the key spheres, that actually counts. That full 24, that counts as him picking up key spheres. So it can make for some pretty fun shenanigans. But he is really, really powerful, and arguably the most offensive of the bunch. And then, of course, we have AGL Vegito. AGL Vegito is a Vegito. He does what Vegito does. He tanks normals and he counters beyond reason, right? I think a lot of people highly underestimated this guy. He was, on the 220% team for the lead for the new Vegito. This dude is throwing out 15 million crit counters like it's nothing, right? He's such an incredibly useful unit. Of course, you need to hide him from supers, but that's a given, right? But he's still going to be pretty good regardless. So that brings us to the new ones. These guys are dropping in about 2 days, and they are mirror images of each other. Gogeta is meant to resemble his once heyday, where he was one of the most offensive units in the game, and he is exactly that, right? When facing extreme class enemies, he's getting crit, he's getting an incredible offensive buff, launching up to 4 supers, as well as getting 30% damage reduction, up to 30% damage reduction production, right? He is going to be an all-out offensive beast. Now, he doesn't have access to a 220% elite just yet, but I'm sure by the end of the anniversary, that will change. Janemba, on the other hand, is the opposite. He is incredibly defensive. He has 90% damage reduction and guard, and Gogeta does have guard too when facing extreme class enemies, let that be noted. And this dude has guaranteed guard always, and then he has up to 90% damage reduction if he is the I'm sorry, not damage reduction, 90% dodge as the first attacker in the turn, right? 70% in slot 3 if you were to float him. So he is incredibly good. Both of these guys are supporting, right? Janemba defensively, Gogeta offensively, right? They're near mirror images of each other, and they look to be incredibly powerful, great additions to their team. Janemba is going to be, I mean, just he's more of what uncontrollable power and more of what you know, movie bosses in general just needed, right? That's typically it's funny to think that the super EZAs are what are really bringing the villains to the forefront, but that really what it is. So the question is, who should you buy with your coins? Each one of these only costs 150 coins. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you have the ability to do so, wait until the redstones until you feel comfortable using your redstones, or we find out what those memorial stones are for. But if I had to pick one unit above the rest for your hard-earned red coins, it is probably, out of all of them, it's probably the Buuhan. Hands down, it is the Buuhan. Now, if you happen to have 600 coins, then it's probably not bad to grab one copy of each for 150 coins. Like, it's really a pretty good deal, and each one of these is going to be of incredible value to your teams. Of course, again, wait till the end of the celebration, but if I had to pick one, Buuhan's probably going to be your primary choice if you have the team to run him. If not, I do think Gogeta is probably the next second. If only because, like, I'm considering this from the factor of a new account. Gogeta is going to be incredibly useful for filling out a team for whatever the Part 2 LR ends up being, or even the Vegito for that matter. He's going to fill out really nice. He's going to link with some powerful cards that fit on those teams, right? He has like really decent links. Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Over in a Flash, Fuse Fighter, Fuse Battle. Like these are just like, I mean, these are basic links that he's going to share with most Dokkan Fests that are going to be on the team with him. So Gogeta is probably the second, followed by Janemba, and then Vegito. And honestly, I mean, this isn't to say any of them are bad. It's just like who you should prioritize is probably Buuhan, and then Gogeta and Janemba. Really, they're interchangeable. It's not that one's better than the other, but I just think in terms of anniversary right now, you're going to get more ride out of Gogeta than you are probably Janemba or Buuhan, because I doubt any of the new LRs released during the celebration are going to be extreme class. So I do think that you're going to get the most value out of these. And then you can just pick, if you pick up these guys with coins, you can pick up one of the other ones with one of your red stones that you didn't use, is the way I would say it. So choose one to pick. If you're going to choose one to pick with coins, it's probably Buuhan, and then get the rest with your red stone. So guys, that is it for the video. That is my recommendation on who you should pick up. I do think Buuhan is the best of the bunch. He is just that good. I cannot understate how good he is. Like, he's incredible. But that is my recommendation on who you should pick up with your hard-earned red coins. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, who did you end up picking up? Honestly, I ended up grabbing a copy of two copies of Vegito in my case, just because mine was still at 55%. So, but let us know what you did in the comments down below, or if you're just gonna wait it out till the end to grab yours. We would love to hear your decision in the comments. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.